When he is with you, he is completely with you, like no one ever has been. He reads your soul, and it forces you to be real. In the quarters of Gonzaga Prep, a young Peter Byrne continued to forge the foundation of his extraordinary journey. As a student, although very shy, he was known for his quiet yet profound presence, a sharp mind, and a kind heart. A young man already steeped in the values of faith and service that would guide him for decades to come. One of 7 children in a very close family, Peter worked after school, running deliveries at Stager's Grocery on 9th and Monroe in Spokane, where Huckleberry Market is today. His grandfather, Patrick S. Byrne, had been the mayor of Spokane and a land developer who passed the family business down to Peter's father. My dad left Gonzaga High School to run the family business, Peter said. He was a very outgoing and loving Irishman who treated everyone like family. My mother was quiet and organized, a very caring and hospitable person. Our house was always full of love. We were very loyal to each other, and I'm still close with my siblings, a very tribal group. That devotion and connection to tribes would become a theme in Peter's life. Even then, those who knew Peter recognized his unique calling. It wasn't just his academic excellence or his dedication to the Jesuit mission. It was the way he engaged with others, with authenticity, warmth, and the ability to truly see and hear people around him. After graduating from Gonzaga Prep in 1961, Peter enrolled at the University of San Francisco before following God's call to enter the Society of Jesus just a year later, embarking on a vocation that would lead him to serve a diverse set of communities, reinforcing in Peter how connected we all are. During his Jesuit studies and inspired by the death of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Peter traveled to inner city St. Louis in the late 1960s to pursue a degree in urban studies. Under the tutelage of Father John Shockley and living in a predominantly African American community, Peter experienced the terrible legacy of slavery and racism in our country, along with the strength and beauty of African American people. He realized the importance of having context in his vocation. Learn about the world around you, he said. Find out what it's like and what truly matters to the people you serve. After over a decade of study, Peter was ordained a priest in 1975 at St. Aloysius Church. From the very beginning, his ministry reflected a deep desire to walk alongside those on the margins, those whose society has left behind, especially the immigrant and Native American communities. In 1983, Father Byrne presided over the funeral of his beloved uncle, Father Cornelius Byrne. For over 40 years, Peter's uncle had ministered to both the Coeur d'Alene tribal community of DeSmet, Idaho, and the Flathead people of Montana. Father Peter got to see firsthand the impact his uncle made on the people and their influence on him. The tribe bestowed the Salish name, He Who Is Great in the Heart. Father Cornelius Byrne was the first non-tribal member of the Coeur d'Alene tribe to be buried in their cemetery. During the homily for his uncle, Father Peter quoted the book of Ruth, "Wherever you go, I will go. Wherever you lodge, I will lodge. Your people will be my people. Your God will be my God." His uncle had lived that oath, and years later, Peter would also minister to the Coeur d'Alene tribe. Father Peter's first pastoral assignment sent him to St. Leo's, a Jesuit parish in Tacoma, Washington, where he served from 1976 to 1981. He co-pastored a vibrant parish dedicated to serving the poor, standing up to injustice, and committed to a safe and healthy planet. Barely into his time at St. Leo's, Father Peter heard God's call. Less than a month after arriving in the parish, Peter and his co-pastor, Father David Rothrock, shared their dinner with a pair of developmentally disabled men. The next day, David asked Peter, "Do you think God is calling them to live with us?" "If we had thought about it too long," Peter said, "we likely wouldn't have heard the call, but instead, we said yes." Answering that call led to the formation of the L'Arche community, and today it continues to thrive, serving the Tacoma area with a sustainable farm and providing service opportunities for many high school and college students in the area to give back to those with developmental disabilities. In 1979, Father Byrne would hear God's whisper once again, this time to stand up to the dangers of nuclear weapons, inspired by the example of Seattle Archbishop Raymond Hunthausen. I didn't believe that this lethal weapon should be used to annihilate the planet. Even the threat of it was beyond ethical, Peter said. So too was the ridiculous amount of money that could otherwise be spent helping so many people in need. Father Peter and some of his parishioners followed their conscience and made the decision to publicly protest the U.S. Trident nuclear submarine base in Bangor, Washington. But not before Peter thought and prayed long and hard about it, including asking the opinion of a friend and Vietnam War veteran. He respected what I was about to do, and likewise, he knew I respected his service to our country. Father Byrne and his parishioners alerted authorities ahead of time that their peaceful demonstration would be happening, and the next day climbed the fence to the base in a peaceful display of civil disobedience. Father Byrne was arrested and jailed immediately, serving 3 years probation for his federal offense. If I had it to do again, I would, he said. Even today, in his 80s, the federal government doesn't allow Father Peter near the Trident base. Father Byrne also had a strong interest in mission work, and in 1981, he served briefly on the reservation of the Swinomish tribe. During his time there, just like his uncle before him, he forged a connection with the native community. Only 3 months into his stay, during a ceremony with the elders, the tribal chairman spoke directly to Father Peter. "You heard the cry of my people for a priest." And it would continue to define his life. Wherever he was sent, he didn't just minister to the people, he became one of them. And God would once again lead Father Peter toward those on the edge. From 1982 to 1985, he served in the downtown chapel in Portland, Oregon. He lived with those on Skid Row and learned to love those on the street. It was an unforgettable experience that served him well in his next assignment at St. Joseph's in one of Seattle's most affluent neighborhoods. I went from one extreme to another, and the contrast was a great life gift. It would give him so much to share, and this once shy high schooler began to use his gift of storytelling, and his homilies brought people together. But telling it and living it are two very different things, and soon Father Byrne would find himself on another remarkable adventure when he traveled to El Salvador during the height of that country's civil war. Just 3 weeks after his return home, 6 Jesuits, along with their cook and her daughter, were brutally murdered in the courtyard of the very place he had visited just weeks prior. Father Peter had a first-hand look at the injustice of war. He also continued to listen when God spoke to him and was then called to Portland for the next 15 years, serving the Jesuit Spirituality Center and pastor of St. Ignatius Parish. He became the superior of the Jesuit community and finally assisted the Jesuit provincial, Father Pat Lee, with the incredibly and challenging effort to settle abuse cases involving the province. "It was some of the most difficult but most important work of my life," recalled Peter. Then in 2015, Peter's life came full circle with a return to his hometown. For the next 3 years, Father Byrne worked at St. Aloysius Parish and became the superior of the Jesuit scholastics at his alma mater, Gonzaga Prep. Peter once again immersed himself in the community he served, celebrating Thursday student mass in the chapel, participating on search, and working with faculty and board. His homilies became things of legend. He even used the power of his presence, assisting the varsity football team's run to a state championship by keeping Coach David McKenna calm on the sidelines. Then in 2019, Peter once again heard a voice, this time in a dream. "I walked into a darkened room and saw an older native man," he recalled. "Then the man spoke to me and said, 'I knew one day you would come.'" Father Byrne soon became pastor at Sacred Heart Mission in DeSmet, Idaho, the very place his uncle had served so many years before. Tribal elder Cindy Ledoux recalls Father Peter's encouragement to integrate indigenous prayers and songs into the Mass. "Long ago, Catholics didn't allow our language to be spoken," she shared. "Now we speak and sing our language during Mass, and it's beautiful." He has woven himself into the fabric of the community. He participates in salmon releases with the children, who affectionately call him Mr. Peter, and sits for hours with elders in their homes, learning their stories, their struggles, and their joys. Father Peter doesn't just celebrate Mass, he embodies it. His homilies, crafted with care, leave parishioners feeling as though he is speaking directly to them. As one parishioner put it, "It was like he knew my life." He saw me. Perhaps what sets Father Peter Byrne apart most is his ability to walk the talk of his faith. Those who know him often say he is the most Jesus-like person they have ever met. A man who doesn't just preach about love and service, but lives it every single day. Father Peter Byrne, you have given countless more than you have ever received, and your story is a testament to what it means to be a Gonzaga prep bullpup, to rise in service, to walk humbly, and to shine brightly in the lives of others. Peter, it's my honor and privilege to welcome you to the Gonzaga Prep Hall of Fame. You've been a light to all of us. Congratulations.